thumbs up or a yes in the conversation portion, just to confirm that everybody can see my screen. Fantastic. I also wanted to make sure that everybody can hear me as well. So a yes or a thumbs up would be great. Brilliant. Excellent. Okay, well, let's get started. All right, so once again, thank you very much for taking the time to join us today to talk about the remote working solutions using Teams, Microsoft Teams, and the Yealink endpoints. Perhaps it might help if I start from the start of the presentation. Here we go. Right. Okay, so everyone can see that first screen. It's black and it says, there's the first word, Yealink. Fantastic. All right, so just to put in perspective, Yealink is in fact a global leading provider of UC solutions. In the SIP space, they currently are #1 in terms of handsets that are deployed in the world. Very strong player, very strong in terms of BroadSoft platforms, in the Asterix, old Asterix platforms, and a number of other different platforms. Now also very strong in the Teams arena. So as a company, they are based in China. All of their manufacturing, though, is to an extremely high standard. A lot of it is obviously, automated manufacture, with the latest techniques, and they themselves are a development company. So all original equipment, all original R&D that goes into the equipment, what we found over the years is that Yealink is an extremely reliable product brand. They've got consistent supply to the channel. Their products themselves hardly break down. They have well thought out solutions. So a leader in the market, and a lot of people follow them in terms of, handset designs and product design. So we'll just run through a few topics in today's presentation. So in profile, very strong when it comes to the SIP market, as you can see, a leader in terms of the number of handsets that they deploy on an annual basis. Strong partnerships in the global community, as well as ITSPs for customers, for system integrators that deploy their solutions. They are a big company. But half of their staff are actually in R&D. So they do see themselves as being a developer, an R&D innovation company, and they continue to come out with patents that push the boundary and improvements in terms of the underlying technology. Now, here's an overview of the Microsoft side of it. The relationship with Microsoft really started in 2015. Now they're a premium partner with Microsoft, which means that they have constant collaboration and, workplace interchange with the Microsoft R&D team, so that they can jointly develop a watertight solution between software and hardware endpoints that works in line with the vision that Microsoft has for Teams. So up the top, we've got all the voice products, right? They have had all of their products available for a year. We've been selling thousands upon thousands of the handsets here in Australia, the conference phone and also the video phone. So well proven in the market, doing very well, very successful. On the second line, we've got all those MVC units are the meeting room solutions that they have, the 300, the 500 and the 800 for different size meeting rooms, to connect into the MTR, the Teams meeting room. New to the range this year is the VC210 Huddle. Now, I'm going to focus a lot on that as your very easy to deploy Android-based VC210. It's not a fully fledged MTR, but it is a lot easier and gets you connected to meeting rooms. And then at the top end, you've got the MVC 900. I'm going to touch slightly on that one as well because it's relevant to training and for demonstrating. And in today's day and age, because a lot of people are going to be working from home, students will be educated with remote learning. This is a tool that will be of great interest to a lot of people. So that's also going to be coming out in next quarter. And down the bottom, where we've seen a spike in sales in the last month is all of the USB connections. So they have the speaker mics, a couple of versions. They've got headsets. Currently the UH33, which is a mono headset USB connect, but they've also coming out with the UH36, which is a dual double headset version of that, double ear. That we've got the first demo stock and first stock starting to pour through on that one, plus also a couple of other things or models in that range. I'll also talk about some of the other smaller devices, like there's a desktop camera that is available as well. So, you know, to complete the picture in terms of tools that can be used at home. So the handsets, a lot of people are already familiar with that. I'm not going to linger too much on it, except to say that the currently deployed Teams handsets that we have out there, they're all PoE. Now, what we're finding is that there has been a spike in the I guess the buy up of all of the power supplies, because people are taking their existing handset that they have already configured that they log into every day with their Teams credentials. They're simply picking those up and taking them home, plugging them into the into a power source at home, and then plugging these into a network. You can add a Wi-Fi dongle to them so that they become Wi-Fi connectable as well to the network. Once they're connected to a network, you can just log in as you normally would with your Teams credentials, and it comes up with all of your address book and your connection to the server, etc. So very, very easy to migrate from an office space to a home space, which enables people to have that continuity, continue using the device that they're normally used to using. And if they're using a headset in conjunction with the handset, they can continue to use that as they normally would have. So this is a simple, easy way to migrate across to a home-based front if you've already got a phone that you've been using in the office. Some of the things that might be of interest, though, to people is that these phones have both a dual Teams or Skype for Business function, as well as so that all of these devices can start as a Skype for Business device, but then be migrated across to Teams. Same hardware, we just update the firmware. Quickly in the Teams room side of it, we've got the different devices, and as you can see from the picture, all of them have got a console. They all have a mini PC and NUC where the MTR and the Windows would be installed. They have AV, so they'll all have a speaker, they'll all have a camera codec as well as part of that, and they also have what we call the M-Share, or the ability to be able to do data share or share from your laptop and present information or share information as well. So they're the components that do make up a Microsoft Teams room solution. Pulling all of this together is the Yealink device management platform. Now, this platform not only enables you to deploy and provision, do firmware updates, and also monitor the use of each one of these devices, what's going on in the devices, where they're connected, whether they're working or not, etc. Each one of them, you can do it for both the phones, for the room systems, and now, of course, also for the USB devices. So if you're an administrator and you have a dispersed remote workforce, even if they're working at home, you can actually identify the devices and take diagnostics, see what's happening with them, update them if they need to with the latest updates, that are occurring, new features from Teams, for example. So this is all enabled through the Yealink device management platform. In terms of latest products, what we see is the VP59 Teams edition. This is a video phone, Android based. It can be used as a phone. It can be used as a standalone video connection into to do video calling through Teams, but it can be uplifted to also enable you to hook it up to a bigger screen with a HDMI cable. The camera that's built into it can be detached and mounted onto a screen. It looks like a little webcam, but you can actually also attach a UVC30 room camera. The advantage of doing that is because it has a wider field of view, 120 degrees. With a huddle room or close-up meeting rooms, people are a lot closer to the screen and to the camera, and so therefore it needs a wider field of view, especially if you've got more than one person, so it might be 2 or 3. It also has auto framing, so that if you've got one person that's moving around or you have a second person join or a third person, it automatically adjusts in terms of focal point and also the direction of where the person's sitting. So it will rotate and move, to the central field of view of the participants. And of course, the Bluetooth speaker, the Bluetooth mic is also included as part of that. So the speaker system would be actually from the television itself, and also the phone, the VP59. You can see it's got a built-in sound bar built into just above the buttons. But the CPW90 is a mic, and it's wireless, and it means that you can actually have that sitting out to, closer to where the participants are if they're sort of around a room, and it gives a much better pickup in terms of just the mic that's included in the actual phone itself, which tends to be single directional, common with phones. So the CPW90 is a lot better. So here's some scenarios and how it's being used and being deployed. So you can uplift a current office situation. You can turn it into a little huddle room scenario as well. So that's available. In a home office, you can also uplift, in terms of just having a plain old phone to also having huddle room. And this is really good for people that are regularly conducting webinars, teaching, doing training, and online, visually online. It just gives a little bit better, experience, when you're connected and you're doing an actual full VC. Now, the latest to the range, and we've just received demo stock of these ones, is the VC210 Collaboration Bar. It's an Android-based device. It's got the speaker mic built into it. You've got the separate speaker mic as well, the CP900, and it comes with a remote. The camera is the same one as you saw previously, the UVC30, inbuilt into this Collab Bar. So we're going to have a closer look at this one. This is really exciting. We've got so much interest generating around this device. It is Teams certified, so it's got the tick box. It's got the tick from Microsoft as well. So it's built-in camera. It's got the speaker tracking mic array. As well, it's built-in Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and has a human motion sensor as well, so that it can track where the speakers are located. The camera itself, it's the same camera as I mentioned before, auto framing, 120 field of view. And also in terms of the HD audio, the little device, the CP900, has got the 360 omnidirectional pickup, much better than what you'd find if the sound and the mics were only in the actual Collab Bar itself. So that would be single direction. It would be at a slight distance, maybe 1 or 2 meters, 3 meters away from where people are sitting. So having a little desktop device that connects up to the Collab Bar means that you can get a lot better speaker output and a lot better mic pickup. And as you can see, it's got a 2-meter voice pickup radius, so ideal for those little meeting rooms. And this is what we recommend: always having a speaker mic that is separate, on the table. The other thing too is that any sort of vibration on the screen that this is mounted on, or when the camera moves, you know, what tends to happen with the voice, that there can be slight vibrations also occurring, which can create slight jitter as well. So, you know, having it separate is another bonus to that. Very easy deployment and management. Scott, as soon as we got one, we deployed it, and it was up and running within minutes, and you know, plugged into our Teams, and I'm using it, and we connected in terms of a VC. So this is a device that can be drop shipped to your customer, that they can plug in with a very simple, you know, 5-step, not even that, it's really a 3-step, you know, take it out of the box, how to mount it, where do you fit the cables, turn it on, connect to Teams, right? So very, very simple stuff that you can actually help your customer through with a help desk call, or just a video link, you know, on how to deploy. Very, very simple. In fact, you can just download an A4 page, throw it into the box, you know, or send it to them, you know, and that'll help them get them up and running very, very quickly. This device also is supported by the Yealink, that both the Microsoft Teams device management portal, but also the Yealink device management platform as well. So just a couple of things in terms of plug and play. So step 1, PoE network cable. Step 2, HDMI to the TV. Step 3, you add your speaker mic to it. And then there's various mounting options, you know, that can be included. So there's a bracket, you know, you can do it on a wall or onto the actual TV or the tripod that the TV is mounted on. So lots of little things, you know, in terms of variations of mounting. Quick and easy setup. Now there's 2 options here. You can have a touch display screen where you can connect into your Teams, or it does come with a remote controller. So you can do it via the remote control back to the VC210, you know, to be able to connect in. The 2 scenarios, though, will determine the kind of use. So if you've got a touch screen, obviously you need to be within arm's reach of the actual touch screen. But with the remote control, you can create a slightly bigger room system. And finally, the MVC 900 for training rooms. The main thing about this one is that it enables you to have a broader range of AV, multiple cameras. What we found is that a lot of our customers, a single camera, even for boardroom or large meeting rooms, it will show the length or the breadth of the room, but you often want a second camera to just point at the speaker. So zoom in on just the speaker in that room. In a training scenario, it's great to be able to have a camera pointing at the teacher, but also then having a camera pointing at whatever they may be demonstrating, for instance, in a science lab or any sort of practical work. And in training, this is also another ability to be able to use a second camera. So you've got one that's facing the speaker, but also one that can be facing for, you know, something else that is in the room. You can have multiple cameras also installed. Now, traditionally or originally, it was designed so that you've got a packed room of a classroom or a training centre, or even you know, a common area, and then the second camera pointing at a speaker. Right, but you know, with today's social distancing, there's probably not so much of a need of that. Maybe down the track, again, we'll come back to it once we've got a handle over the current pandemic. But at the moment, it can be used just for simple training scenarios. Some different connectivity in terms of the cameras, all Cat5e back into a switch with a central camera hub that controls it. And you can actually preset each one of the cameras into a particular position so that you don't need to be using the remote or trying to get the camera focused and also zoomed in and in position for a particular focal point. You can preset those. And recently I did a webinar, and it actually had presets already set up so that I was able to actually set the preset and it zoomed automatically to a device that I wanted to specifically demonstrate, or preset back to my my person, you know, as the communicator, you know, the presenter. One of the other things too is that for people that have got existing Yealink MVC solutions out there, there was a lot of cables in the first editions, right? First generation, a lot of USB cables, HDMI cables that needed to be connected. Well, we're just starting again with all of that, removing a lot of the cables that come out of that mini PC, and as you can see, it's a single Cat5e. Existing rooms that are in place at the moment have already got Cat5e in the room. That went from the back of the wall or the front of the wall where the camera and the TVs were, and the Cat5e ran to the boardroom. You can use that existing Cat5e to connect a Yealink MVC solution, and there will be an upgrade path from the old to the new, potentially. We'll verify that actually, I'm not 100% sure. All right, so let's get down to the crux of it. Any questions so far? Let me pause. Is there any questions that anybody has? Okay, so I've got a question here. Would this work for a portable TV on a trolley that gets moved around in an office? Does this require an additional PC to run Teams Room? Scott, you want to answer that?
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. Okay, so if we're talking about the VC210, then you don't need anything else. Just the VC210 that can get mounted onto the top of your touchscreen that you wheel around your office, and that is all you need. Nothing else required.
Scott, how would you share data if you were part of that room, that meeting?
Yeah, so if you're talking about sharing content like we're doing now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So with the Android-based devices, or the what they call in the collaboration bars or the mini MTRs, there's no built-in content sharing devices available for these units. So with the existing Microsoft MTR solutions, the Windows-based solutions, they actually have like a HDMI or a DisplayPort ingest device. In Yealink's case, it's called the MShare device that you use to actually share content either via, like I said, a HDMI cable or a DisplayPort, or you can also do it via a wireless presentation pod, which is Yealink's WPP20. Now, with the Android devices, they don't have the same solution. So what you would do this time is you would actually join the meeting on your notebook. You would have yourself muted so the audio and the mic muted on your notebook, and you would share the content that way. Now, there is easier way to do it. So what you can do is actually walk into the meeting with your laptop, and using the Bluetooth beaconing, you can join the meeting that's being run on the VC210, which automatically will mute your audio and also your mic and your speaker, and then you can share content from there.
Thank you. Okay, so let's have a look at some bring your own solutions. Now, just to let you know that these are new. We don't actually have stock of them at the moment. They will be coming out at some stage in the near future. So just the scenario that Scott was talking about, you can actually have Teams running on your own laptop, and all you need to do is then connect the devices. So you need a camera, you need a speaker mic, and then you need something to coordinate the use of those back into the Teams. So the BYOD kits would look something like this. There'd be a room camera, the speaker phone, and then what we call the BIOD box. And a security slot. So all of these things would be available as a kit that you can add in as part of a rooms system. The other version is the little bit more upscale, so something that's for a larger room, the UVC30 camera, the CP960 conference phones, and you will be able to use existing CP960 phones that you may have already invested in and add the other components in. There'll be the Yealink biod box and also the extension cables. It will be USB to then upscale a room into a meeting room. Some of the unique features that Yealink does have in terms of their meeting rooms and also their phones is that the phones themselves can be used in both a SIP and also a Teams hybrid mode, which means that you can have inbound calls coming in from either a SIP PBX or also from Teams, or you can make outbound calls via Teams or by SIP. Very, very simple. So you can see in that picture where the hand is, the black hand or the white hand, you click on that. It's a little button which can be positioned anywhere on your phone screen, and you press on that and it converts over. So in Teams, you'll see your Teams address book, press on it, and then it goes into your SIP screen and all the SIP contacts that you've got there. So that's a unique feature with regards to Yealink's capability on the phone side of things. Also, the fact that they've got a wireless presentation dongle. So you can share content. There's a mShare box that you would normally plug your laptop or your devices into and then share the content from there. However, Yealink have got the WPP20, which then communicates between the mShare box and also the dongle, which is connected to your laptop, and then you can wirelessly present. In the future, they'll be looking at Miracast and also AirPlay support. So this is now supported by both Windows and Mac. They've also got wired and wireless mic options. So for both of them, you can either have wired mics or you can have wireless mics. The wireless mics, if you're familiar with the CP960, it's exactly the same thing. So the CP960 wireless mics, these ones you can purchase separately and add in, or they come with some of the room system kits. And of course, the MVC900 multi-camera solution with preset on the camera is a unique solution to Yealink. So drilling down to the last part of it, the remote working solutions. The UVC30 room solution using the UVC30 camera. We're currently deploying a lot of demo versions of the UVC30. And there's going to be two versions available, one for room and one for the UVC30 for desktop. The desktop version includes a mic. It has a slightly shorter cable as well, and it'll have other features like, for instance, the Hello feature to launch it. So Windows Hello feature. It'll also have a slightly different HD voice quality, and the voice pickup range of the built-in mic will be, it's quite a broad or long pickup. So 6.6 feet, it's about 2 meters, and also it's a 150-degree view because you are up closer to the actual camera itself. The CP900 and the CP700 available now. They are Teams native devices, which means that you can actually, if you click on the Teams, it can connect and launch, or if a Teams call comes in, these automatically activate. High quality audio, there's some built-in noise-proof technology, full duplex experience as you'd expect from a device like this, and the 6 microphone beamforming array. So the CP700's got 2. The good thing about these ones, it is a much better experience than just using the laptop for your speaker or for using the speaker on a monitor or a TV. They're designed to be conference devices, which means that they've got that built-in noise-proof technology, the full duplex, the beam forming arrays in the mics as well for pickup 360 degree. So just some of the features that are actually built into it, the voice assistance and Teams button as well, that is built into it, that can work in conjunction with your Teams connection. And all of the other built-in buttons as well, you know, the usual. So the USB speaker has got message notification. So if there's a new message, the light will flash, and you can click on the Teams button to bring up the Teams message in the notifications page. Very handy. Yep. So messages come through, it lights up, and then you can click on it and it brings up the screen. USB headsets, the UH33 is currently available. It's just a mono single ear with a mic headset, USB connect. It's also got a little management console, as you can see in the middle there. But one of the good things about it is that it has a 3.5 plug. So the little 3.5 millimeter plug that connects into the actual console, you can disconnect that and put it into a little adapter for your phone, like your iPhone, as an example. So this can have different ways in which it can be connected. Not very expensive, about $50. So very, very quick and easy to sort of connect in and start conferencing or working from home or working on, you know, the road as well. The UH36 is starting to ship. This is going to be the dual ear. Same thing as the 33, but the 36, yeah, it's just dual ear, and it's got a few more features in terms of the HD voice capability. So noise cancelling, eliminating background noise, the wideband speaker, you know, from the mic itself. And has a different number of connector capabilities as well. The usual, the USB, plus also the 3.5 millimeter connection. From my perspective, if I'm using something like a Surface Pro, it's got limited number of USB ports on it. So my USB port often will be taken up with something like a mouse or some other device, and the 3.5 millimeter connection that's in the Surface Pro, I can actually connect with these headsets into. So it gives me that ability to, you know, for that 3.5 mil from these to plug into my Surface Pro. But then again, I can also use them for my phone as well, which is what I also do. They've got the tick from Microsoft as well, so they are Teams compatible. And built into them, they've got things like from the earpiece, from the controller, the volume up, down, mute, read dial, the Teams button, and certain other features as well. And also coming will be wireless headsets, the WH62 as well. Now, all of this, actually, I'll just go back one as we come to the end of it all. Are there any questions that anyone has with regards to the individual user devices, all of the USB devices, all of the BIOD devices that we've just run through? Okay. All right. Okay, so finally, a lot of you are aware of who we are, Alloy. You've been working with us for a number of years, or it's just a new relationship now. In terms of Microsoft, we've been working on this front for probably a couple of years now. We've been in the SIP market for 10 years, so we've been a Yealink distributor for 10 years. We have a lot of stock that we hold locally. We just got a massive shipment that came in today for a lot of gear. But we support you guys by offering demo gear, by offering loan units to test. We've got a product knowledgeable sales team, and also we've got a tech team that can support you as well. to assist with setup, to assist with best fit for pre-sales and scoping, and also the after sales, the warranty, the tech support that you might need, etc. So we plug into Yealink, the Yealink team as well. We've got dedicated support team at Yealink that we also plug into. So it's a very tight relationship that we actually have with Yealink in terms of all of this stuff, and the ongoing flow of product coming into the country, the deployment of the product, making it available to you, the technical knowledge, the product knowledge, it's all of our relationship with Yealink to make sure that we've got a continual communication and flow of skill and of product flowing into the channel. So just to let you know, that's all available there. Now, our tech support for our partners and resellers is free of charge. You can call us, you can email us. We don't charge anything for that. All right, so just to let you know. The other thing too is that we do have a full lab set up as well, and we've got a demo centre. So we test everything that does come in. We get the knowledge first up before we start deploying it. And if there's any weird and wonderful things that do come up in terms of product eccentricities, or things not working, we can set it up here and try and replicate your scenario to figure out what the problem might be. Now, one of the things that you might also be aware of, yes, so a question from a customer, can we bring customers to Demo Lab? We are located in Melbourne at Notting Hill, and yes, you can bring customers to the Demo Lab. Normally, that's not a problem. Nowadays, we just need to, observe and adhere to social distancing. So always by appointment, but then we can work it out from there. But failing that, we have been actually sending out a lot of demo gear lately in place of actually coming into our demo centre. We've been sending out a lot of loan gear for you to test, and most of them previously they were going to the office. Now that's going to people's homes to test, or to your customer to have a look at and test as well. So companies are offering, are recognising that our workplace has changed. So the offer that's available from them has changed. Now Microsoft currently is offering a free 6-month trial of O365, including the full feature of Teams. You need to just check for whether you qualify for it or not. It's going to be available to certain of their customer base, but this does help in terms of your customers, if they qualify for it, to be up and running and enabled on Teams. A good example of that is schools. A lot of schools are on Office 365. They'll more than likely qualify. In fact, I'm pretty sure they'll qualify for a Teams trial. I certainly know that with both my kids. They use O365 and they've uplifted to include Teams. My son, for example, is part of a team hub with his English teacher and his maths teacher as well. All of his work is on Compass, and he can access his work on Compass and run through his classes and connect to his teacher via the team, either via chat or via live audio, or also video link. So that's something that's being explored as well. And depending on how the current fabric of our social distancing and the pandemic is rolled out. In Victoria, schools may or may not go back to school after the school holidays. It may be the same with other states. So, this is going to be, really important to help kit out students as well. So there's a big opportunity there. Also for health industry as well, being able to connect the health workers, the carers, for independent living disabled people from at home, being able to connect them back to carers. Also with GP practices, there's been an influx of people frightened to death because they've got a sniffle And so booking up the emergency rooms, the GP office and the clinics. This will enable them to log in to get a visual diagnosis from a GP to say, run you through the actual steps of, okay, what are your symptoms? You know, have you been overseas recently? Have you been in contact with somebody that was overseas recently? The usual questions. And at the end of it, they'll say to you, nah, you're fine. Right, you've just got a cold more than likely. So just sit tight and see where it goes. So, you know, the tools that are available here, Microsoft identifies that there's going to be a huge need for individuals to be connected via a product like Teams, to be able to chat, call, and also video connect, and not just one-on-one, but also as part of a group. And of course, if you have been using Teams, you know, you can drill that down. You can make them hidden or open. It can be public or it can be private. So there's a lot of different levels. You can add files. You can add connections to websites as part of that team. So there's a lot that you can do. And then, of course, you know, you can connect a lot of different apps, huge amounts of toolkits that can be connected in and available, you know, using Teams. There's a lot of information currently on the Microsoft website as well around that. If a customer is not wanting to use Teams, and they've got existing product, another product also for quick video connect is Zoom. Zoom also has some offers available. And I'm mentioning Zoom because a lot of the products that you've just seen today are also available as Zoom certified kit on the Zoom platform as well. So the little speaker mics, the cameras, you know, they will all be available for use with the Zoom kits as well. Any questions? Okay. On our website, we have alloy.com.au. I'm just going to type it in here. .com.au/SFB Teams. You will see products on there. What we are going to be doing also is having a specific website connection for around the remote worker and solutions regarding remote worker. So it'll be around Yealink solutions, it'll be around PBXs, software PBXs. It'll also be including things like how do you connect video intercoms to monitor people that maybe are at home, or, you know, in different scenarios. How do you remotely monitor people, or for security, for access as well, paging, emergency notification. So there's lots and lots of plugins that can occur around a Teams solution that we can also assist you with, and we'll be throwing that up onto a website. We're starting to roll out a series of guides as well that can assist in terms of best practice. I mean, one of the challenges really is that, you know, it's great having, I've always had the ability to work from home. Yeah. My challenge currently, however, is that I've got both kids at home. They're live streaming from PS, streaming, you know, using FaceTime with their friends like 6 hours through the day. They've got Netflix running, you know, my husband's working from home as well. He's in self-isolation. We're all VC and streaming at the same time. And every time I try and download a large file, can be a challenge. So we've got tools, we've got access points, we've got a range of different products that we're currently testing, that we're currently trying to work out, okay, what is a best fit or best scenario that can be a quick setup and easy to use and connect, you know, for remote workers. So watch this space. We're going to be coming out with a lot more tools. Any questions? Okay, if there are no questions right now, then please do connect into one of our account managers, or on that website that I've just thrown up there, there is a registration that you can fill out as well, your name, company name, contact details. We can get in touch with you if you fill it out and have a chat to you about your particular situation and what you'd like to do in terms of promoting to a particular customer. Or if you want to actually look at some sort of a campaign to do to your customer base, we can also have discussions around all of that as well. All right, so we're very much into business continuity, ensuring that businesses continue to work from where they are or from whatever the situation is without too much disruption. All right, so we can keep our economy going and everybody kept in a job. But I hope you've enjoyed today's session. Any questions, please do give us a call, and have a lovely afternoon. Thank you very much, and stay safe.